walked all the way down to the dock where I stood earlier today with two alums. And the water was so clear, despite all the years of neglect, that even several yards out I could still see down and see the bottom. And I knew then that I desperately wanted to be here. And the night before at my final dinner with just one person, Scott Weldon, the faculty scene designer who died tragically young, we talked about our mutual love for Thornton Wilder, and near the end of our time together, he said to me something like, "I could work with you," and I knew the same of him. Weeks later, Morley, where are you? So weeks later, Morley and I had given up hope that I'd get the job. And so we decided to take the family out to what might be called grief burgers. So we would comfort our sadness with beef, mayo, and fries at a place called, I kid you not, Fuddruckers. You know that place? So as we were about to head out the door, I got a call from David Drogi, Communication and Theater Arts, and Burger Morning became Burger Celebration. And at least for Morley and me, our children, who you'll see tomorrow, were not so excited about leaving Philadelphia for Tacoma to go to school yet again in a place where no one knew them. Now Wind, where's Wind? Wind is my successor, please welcome. Wind, I know you had a similar question when you interviewed, perhaps, about mental health in particular. And so within a few minutes of meeting you, and then after seeing you teach my class, I knew that we and I would be amazingly fortunate if you chose to accept this position that has been held by so many great teachers, from Teach Jones to Kurt, Sarah, and Jess. And I hope that the alums are here will share with you over the next couple of days their best memories of their work with faculty, staff, and peers. Too many to name here. And in doing so, name in much more detail than I can do in a few short minutes the names of individuals who have made this learning community so fucking phenomenal. Morley, fucking was not written into the original speech. It was an impulse just to say fucking.
That's your one for the day.
The one thing I cannot guarantee you, Wind, is that the current faculty and staff are not crazy. But I can tell you, what? Who said that? Okay, thank you. But I can tell you one thing, I'm going to tell you one thing that each of them are not good for and are good for, okay? Particularly since I'm retiring, I can do this. So Sarah, where's Sarah?
Kurt laughed the loudest.
Sarah, you're about to be new colleague. It is a horrible person to hang out with if you're insecure about your choices in footwear. I want my students to notice that I'm wearing my brown shoes. I normally only wear my what are they? Some old people tennis shoes.
New Balance.
And also, asked my daughter before I left tonight if I looked all right, and Morley turned to Donna and said, "What about the jeans?" and I thought, Morley, I'm off script again. I thought that none of you would recognize me if I was not wearing loose-fitting or not jeans, which I've worn now for roughly 25 years. But Wind, if you like to rethink the entire curriculum of the university and do so with endless reams of creative energy, look no further than Sarah Freeman. Jess, where's Jess? Jess. Okay, Jess is an absolutely impossible person to have teaching just before or after you in Jones 203. Since she's so prone to want to spend every minute she can with her students. And, but, if you need someone to hold on to you in the middle of a tornado, she, or for that matter, any of my colleagues will do. And Kurt, where's Kurt? Okay, well, Kurt, This is difficult because he, like Scott Weldon, is a designer. In fact, he was Scott's hand-picked successor, and I've worked with him for more years than any other collaborator in my life. Yes, please, could you say that? Again? Other than Morley. Going for the big sentiment here now. Okay, so this is, I've got to keep moving. Okay, so Kurt is no use at all if you want someone to create your idea of a dream set. Because whenever I would tell Kurt my idea of a dream set, he would give me something else instead. Midsummer Night's Dream, there's Megan, you know. As You Like It, forest trees. Makes sense, right? No.
Jellyfish!
No trees, no trees.
Jellyfish, not trees.
For Dream, it was just this grove of tall metal poles that would have worked well in a fire station, I thought. But, you know, halfway, but if you'd like to find like Helena, I don't know if Helena's even with us tonight, but Helena at the top of a long metal pole in an attempt to keep Hermia from scratching her eyes out, he's your guy. And nobody's ever had that, dreams have been a lot, nobody's ever had that, quite that image, I don't think, so. And if, on the morning after a horrible Monday run, you need someone to look at you and say, without saying it, we both know it's a mess right now, but I believe in you and the mess we've created, and so don't give up yet. Kurt will do just fine. Aww. And I could go on and on with so many who are here, person after person, who may not give you what you want, but what you need. And these students, now alums, Professor Woods, they're crazy. They are crazy miracles. And if you want someone to make your life easier, run away as fast as you can. But if, however, you want someone to convince you that maybe you are a little more than the briefest blip of a heartbeat, I don't know whether it's EKG or ECG. What would you say?
EKG.
EKG, thank you. EKG of the universe, then they will do just fine for them. Finally, you, Professor Woods, playwright and educator, scholar of hip-hop theater and aesthetics, narratology, blackness, and performance, as well as the themes of death and rebirth. You can tell how happy I am right now. Identity, gender, and slang, teacher of composition, literature, playwriting, poetry, acting, and hip-hop Shakespeare. I know as well what you are not good for. You would not have been a good choice if what I wanted was for someone who would continually make students say, "Where's Geoff?" I've said generously, I'm stepping back for a little while, you know, so that Wynn can find his place without me, you know, flitting in and out, an act of great generosity. I say this over and over again, you know, how nice of me. I'm just going to give Wynn some space. Don't want to compete with him. And that's true. There is a need for ends and beginnings. We celebrate ends and beginnings for finite, for closure and continuity. But my selfish reason is it's difficult enough trying to compete for the love of students with Jess, Sarah, Kurt, and Marilyn. But there's no way I can keep up with hip-hop philosophy. I'm just going to go away for a little while so you and Kurt and Jess and Sarah can go on your merry Pied Piper ways with these young and impressionable youth. This is off script too, but when they were searching for wind, I would be in my office. I didn't participate in the search at all. Because I was gonna, it's your department now, you figure it out. Another act of selfless generosity on my part. And I was in my office, And I would hear laughter from Sarah, Jess, and Kurt. Then they come out and say, "Well, we're so sorry you're leaving," you know. And they don't need me at all. They're happy. They're a fun little bunch. So fine, that's great. So they're gonna, just make them love you. And someday we'll arrive at a time when I can be pulled out of a cupboard like some beloved old bottle of port. And people will say, "It's not bad," especially with a little dark chocolate. Whoever's laughing, I appreciate that. Okay. So I got a couple of laughs, and I'm gonna end seriously. I tried to get my students to love Fornez this semester, and some of you did a great production of Fefu and Her Friends years ago, and I continue to love Fornez. And so I ran across this line from Fornez that I think is fantastic. And Fornez writes, Julia says, "I feel we're oh, by the way, this is about death. I'm sure that this would have been totally disappointed if we not ended on death. Particularly my own mortality, which you've all spent many, many hours of your life contemplating." So let's just end on a happy note. Nothing makes me happier than death. Okay, so now I'm going to try to turn and make this serious, okay? Julia says, "I feel we're constantly threatened by death. Every second, every instant, it's there." I believe this. At every moment, something rescues us. Something rescues us from death every moment of our lives. For every moment we live, we have to thank something. We have to be grateful to something that fights for us and saves us. And Professor Woods, that's what these people have been for me and will continue to be, and I hope in some small way for them, and now for you as well. Welcome.